Implementation of the smart grid, you hear that talked about now, and I don't quite understand fully the aspects of the smart grid myself yet. We're just starting to see a lot of talk about that in our industry. But it takes advantage, it's trying to put technology in place to make the electric system more efficient, from the generating plant all the way to the end user out in your home. And the ability to monitor that usage and control that usage and know where it's at. It's almost like Big Brother looking right inside your home to see how much electricity your refrigerator is using. That's what they're talking about with the smart grid. Sounds good. It will be a good thing in the way that the system can be more reliable. It can be more efficient, but it's going to cost money. Somebody's going to have to pay for it. We believe that those are all worthy issues of concern. We think they ought to be addressed too. If we have climate change problems, we need to fix it. Renewables are definitely a piece of the puzzle, part of the solution. If you can get free energy, that's a good thing. We just got to make it work right. We've got to make sure that it doesn't unduly burden people to bring this on. We've got to make sure it's done right. Our climate should be protected. Renewables should be part of the generation mix, and our electric system should be as efficient as possible. There's great concern that the effort in these areas are going to cause electric rates, your electric bills, to go up. I'm going to play a short, I think it's a 3-minute video right here. This comes from our national group, the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association, and it just does a little bit better job of illustrating some of the concern we have with what's going to go on here as the administration pushes through these efforts to try to address greenhouse gas.
I really don't know what I would do if my electric bill went up $50 a month. I honestly don't know what I would do.
I have to have electricity for my children. I will pay my fair share, but $50? Come on, that to me is not a fair share.
I'd say to the people who say $50 isn't enough or is it much, try living in my shoes.
Franklin Roosevelt made the point that electricity in this country was no longer a luxury. It is, in fact, a necessity. Our economy is in tough shape, and a lot of Americans are having a very difficult time in meeting budget each and every month. We want to make sure that Congress doesn't add to that burden. We want to make certain that each and every American in this country can continue to receive affordable electric power well into the future. We want to make certain we don't step back from that commitment that Franklin Roosevelt made.
Times are tough, and it could get worse. Officials in Washington are working to address climate change while developing new government mandates on all energy policies. Whatever they decide, electric bills are going to rise as a result. The only question is whether higher electric bills will be kept affordable. Congress is setting goals for action, and even if they don't act, the Supreme Court has decided that the Environmental Protection Agency already has the authority to put new rules in place. Their decisions are going to affect every one of us. Some of their proposals are just plain wrong. One could cost the average co-op member $50 or more per month. $50 every month. Another would even let Wall Street speculators determine how much our bills will go up. They'd make huge profits at our expense. Getting climate change policy right ought to be an important national priority. But we need our elected officials to focus on addressing climate change in a way we can all afford.
Directors all across this country are doing everything they can to keep the cost of electric power down. There's no question that our directors fully understand the hardships that many of our members are going through. They're fighting to keep those costs down, and I think doing a very good job of it. What needs to be understood here is we're dealing with a different situation. This is something out of the control of the directors of the local electric cooperative. This is something that's in the control of their elected officials, the senators and congressmen in Washington. They're the ones that will determine the kinds of jumps that we see in electric bills for the future. As they deal with the issue of climate change, they will also be dealing with the issue of electric bills. And we're hopeful that we can convince our members of Congress to work with electric cooperatives to try to make sure that we not only deal with climate change, but we also keep electric bills affordable for the future. All across this country, we've got 42 million members of electric cooperatives. If we all work together, if we contact our senators and our congressmen, we have an opportunity to have a real impact. We have an opportunity to determine what our electric bills are going to be in the future. That's the reason it's critical that we use ourenergy.coop to contact our elected officials and to get this message across. Let's use our democratic process. Let's make certain our elected officials hear from us, and let's make certain that our electric bills in the future are affordable.
Together, we're strong, and we need to stand together, and we need to get involved.
And we need to use our voices, and this is the time to do it.
Standing together, we'll make one strong group.
There you go.
42 million strong.
There you go.
In the hands of the congressmen and in the hands of the senators. There are things that we're doing right now. We're working with our statewide, our national organizations to educate our legislators here in the state, at the state level, and also our senators, our congressmen at the national level. So we work hard in that area. KEPCO is right in the thick of this. They know that this is their court that we're playing in right now, and they're working hard to make sure that they would mitigate this as best they can for their members, who ultimately are us. We're pretty fortunate at KEPCO. We've got a good mix. We get, roughly, these numbers are rough, but a third of our power comes from Wolf Creek. There is no greenhouse gas emissions right there. About a third of our power comes from hydroelectric projects. There is no greenhouse gas emissions right there. So we're saying nearly 2/3 of our power doesn't have any emissions at all. That other third is purchased power, and a lot of it comes from coal. So yes, we see some there. But our exposure isn't anything like, say, the state of Missouri, which has a ton of coal over there, and they would be looking at maybe some greater increases than we might be. I'll be in Washington, D.C. this May, along with several other directors and CEOs, and we'll be talking to the congressmen and senators then, saying, come on, guys, be sure to take care of us. Don't forget the little people out in the country. Steve's going to be there, I think, this weekend, next week, and he's going to be making the same case. They're going to be setting them up for when we come in later, getting ready there. At Heartland, we're always looking for ways to become more efficient, get more bang for the buck, keep a hold of the costs here. So there's stuff going on here at the local level also, try to keep control of this. But if we sit back and look at the big picture, yeah, we're concerned. We think probably prices are going up. That's what everybody's saying. And if it continues on this track to address climate change the way it's going to, yeah, I'd say the prices are going to go up. We just don't know how much yet. We hope it won't be that much. Ron's put out some booklets on the table if you're interested. There's a little one right here, and then there's this big one right here. And there's some more information in there. It's kind of basic in nature, but it does give the address of the website, ourenergy.coop, that you can go to. And you can get more information there. And you can also send a message to your representatives, your congressmen, your senators, if you would like. You can get involved in that way. Make your voice heard. If you feel strongly about this, be sure to contact them. And we'll sit back, do everything we can, and hope it comes out best in the long run.